Jay Massey is a full-time real estate investor. He's an entrepreneur.
He also teaches people how to find deals, raise capital for real estate investments.
Meeting Jay Massey in person, you'd think he's just a regular guy. He's got jeans and a t-shirt on and a pair of sneakers. But he's built up a multi-million-dollar empire.
I hope you do have an empty notebook because it's going home filled.
Jay gives back so much value that I've never seen.
Now, at this moment, when I'm looking at the kitchen, things are going through my head.
You want to be friends with him, and he treats you like you're the only person in the room, even though it's for the benefit of everybody.
This is how, when you ask yourself, how does Jay do it? This is how.
He tells people that they have to take action, and they have to take action now. I took the action, and the results have paid off.
What happens when the marketplace understands who we are and how we go out there? Hey people, how you doing? Hopefully things are going well for you today. I'm excited that those of you who are here, that you've decided to join us. We are, well, doing our best to continue to make your experience better as you watch and learn and, well, ask your questions. So that's the goal today, is to make sure that you get all of your questions answered, no matter where you are from, where you're operating from, etc., because we want to just make sure that what we can do is to help you. With that being said, this particular session, our call-in line is open. So what would happen is you dial 417-352-2274. Again, that's 417-352-2274. And we will be able to get you on live with me to ask, and hopefully I'll know the answer. But if not, I'll let you know that too, or at least point you in the best correct direction that I possibly can. Again, 417-352-2274. The call-in line is open, so feel free to go ahead and start dialing. For those of you watching on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, etc., we do have some of the chat rooms are working properly today, so go ahead and type in the chat room. For those of you in our student group, to be very clear, our student group, we're going to bring you guys, so if you're typing in the chat, I'll be able to see that right here. But if you're not in the Facebook student group and you're on Periscope, you're on YouTube, well, YouTube is fine, Periscope is fine. The Facebook page is fine. The main one that's having the challenge right now is our public Facebook group, believe it or not. So if you're somewhere other than that, I should be able to see what it is that you have to say. In fact, it does look as though that we had someone who was appreciating some of the music that we were playing just a little bit ago. Hopefully you were. If that was you, then great. If not, then, well, you know, it is what it is. I like music. Hopefully you like it too. So what we are going to do today is kind of what we do all the time, guys, is I do my best to make sure that those that are our students have the ability to get their questions answered, because we do not want anyone to get stuck in that process. And at the end of the day, I can say the one thing that has helped me tremendously is to always have a place to go, to know that I'll have a place to go on a consistent basis to get my questions answered as I was growing up, quote unquote, and continue to grow up in the business. So looks like we have someone here on the line. So we will find out. And, oh, actually someone has dialed in. Thank you. There we go. Yes, it looks like someone has dialed in, so I'm looking forward to talking to some more people. But first, let's take care of some of the basic business. I know for those of you wondering and watching, you're probably wondering, like, who's that? That is one of my, what I feel like saying is mini daughters, because I have 3 of them. And so those of you who are in our student Facebook group, you saw her yesterday because she's actually learning to run this entire system so that we can bring you guys better diversified content. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like that wall too, but if we can do other things, if she's over here manning the controls, I think that would be also awesome. So we've put together the system now. And now she's in training, on the job training. That's how this goes. So when you see her slacking off, say something so that way I can, I can give her that dad look, that dad look, like quit slacking off. Yeah, that dad look. That way she picks it up and makes it happen. Anyway, so what we're going to do is actually get over to, okay, cool. Looks like the person who just called in is ready. So we're going to find out a little bit more. Oh, actually, hold on. I just want to make sure I get this. That's the right one, right? I think so. All right. Let me go back to the call line. Which one is that? There it is. Awesome. I think I found it. Yes, there you go. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and bring them on just now. What do I have to do? I have to press this button. Did you see? So you got to watch the buttons that I'm pressing to make this work. All right. So what's that? No, because it's on the iMac. So hello, this is Jay. Boro?
Jay, this is Boro.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good, good, good. Thanks for calling in. Glad to have you. How's it been going?
Yeah, it's been going great. It's actually been very good in terms of how low maintenance it has been to take care of the property and communicate with the guests and have all the backup stuff that I need in order to provide the service that they've experienced so far. And out of, I think, about 18 guests that I've hosted so far, 17 of those have given me 5-star reviews. One was a disgruntled person that gave me only 3 reviews because they weren't happy about an early check-in fee. But besides that,
hold on. I just want to make sure I heard that clearly. So you're saying you've had 17, 18 guests now, and the one that wasn't happy because you didn't rearrange your schedule for free to make it easy for her to arrive early.
For him, yes.
Okay, him.
Correct.
Either way, I just want to make sure that I understood that correctly. Got it. No problem.
Yeah.
I think you're doing great then.
Yeah, it was an interesting experience because I had to involve Airbnb into that, which they were obviously they were on my case, on my side.
Oh, that's good.
Besides that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Cool. So what's going on? How can I help?
So, so this is my 3rd month now operating with a single unit, and September has been a bit of a tough month. I am mostly covered for the rest of the month, and I'm only kind of scraping by with a little bit of profit. There were about 6 days that have just gone by that I was not able to fill in my vacancy.
Okay.
And I've noticed that most of my guests book on the long end, which is about 20 to 25 days plus in advance.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and I don't have a lot of last-minute bookers.
Okay.
And then on the other side too is I get about maybe 500 or 600 views a month. Mm-hmm. And when I look at my listing for the town that I'm searching in, typically my listing will be on page 11 or 12 on the platform, or specifically in Airbnb.
Okay.
And so the questions I'm trying to figure out is how to improve my ranking so that I can be viewed more frequently, more often, and 2, any suggestions on attracting last-minute bookers.
Got it.
You know.
All right. So I've just got a couple of more questions, and I'll be able to give context because I want to make sure that everyone understands that when you are, a lot of the questions that he's asking right now have to do with his specific customer type. It's what we call who do you want to serve. So understand that while I'm going to ask him some questions, you should be asking yourself these same questions, or if these are things that you are also experiencing, wondering, hey, what can I do? Sorry, so let me ask this. Is this an apartment or a house?
It's an apartment. It's a 1-bedroom apartment.
Okay, 1 bedroom. And just for my own frame of reference real fast, what is the walk score over 70?
The walk score is just about 64 or 67, I believe.
Okay. And then who is the target market exactly? Who are you trying to serve?
Families. I'm targeting families. Families, either couples or ones with small children, and also traveling professionals or people. What I've discovered, the third market that I'm serving is people who are coming in town to visit Nike over the weekend to purchase stuff from their.
Are you serious?
Store. Yes.
People like fly
And
in
that
just
now-
to go to the Nike to buy stuff?
Exactly.
Wow. I would have never
Yeah.
guessed that. That's pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah, that's an interesting. But those are typically weekend travelers, which is a good thing too.
Well,
And
yeah.
they typically come for about 2 to 3 days.
Do they leave any gifts behind, man? Hey.
Unfortunately, no. I had one honeymooner who decided to come to Portland, Oregon to spend their honeymoon here with us.
Alrighty then. Okay, all right. So, all right, here we go. So, when you're saying that typically it's 20 to 25 days in advance is what you're used to. Now, I'm curious, when you said typically you're on page 11 or 12, you're saying that's where you normally are? Because that's pretty, far down.
Yes, that's based.
I'm sorry? Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry.
What happened?
I'm here. Sorry, nothing. I got disconnected for a second.
Okay, you said so you're typically on page 11 or 12. That's normal for you?
Normal as of the past month and a half or so. I think Airbnb maybe boosts new hosts for the first couple of months, and then the ranking just completely dropped off. And there are periods that I wouldn't get any bookings for about 2-3 weeks. There was one particular instance that was close to a month.
Got it.
That happened.
Okay, got it. So here's what's going through my head right now is inside of you're using Smart B&B, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so inside Smart B&B, there's a tool called Market. Have you ran a market report on your particular location?
I believe I have, not recently.
Okay, so here's where I'm coming from with that. What I want you to do is to go through and start making incremental changes specifically to the pricing for the available dates that you have coming up in the future. So let me say it differently. Let's pretend that you had this weekend available. I'm not saying you do, but let's pretend that you had this weekend available and you ran the market report. And on that market report, it's going to tell you of all of the currently available units, here's what the low, the high, and the median, as well as the average price listing or published rate is. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then it's going to give you a number relative to that. And what I'm saying is there's certain spots where your calendar is already open. What I want you to do is to go optimize for that, if that makes sense.
By optimizing, meaning lower price for that?
Sometimes it's lower, sometimes it's higher. Sometimes you could actually be too low. I don't know all the time. I have found there have been times where I have been too low and I needed to actually increase it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's really where I'm coming from there. So I don't know, but that's going to be specifically on an Airbnb. That's going to be one of the first things I'm gonna look at. Now, are you priced for for minimum occupancy of 2 or maximum occupancy typically?
So I am priced for I'm priced for minimum occupancy of 1, and then I have $10 per night for the second, third, and fourth guests per person.
Interesting. So you start at $10 per night at the second person?
Yes.
Got it. Okay, that's interesting. I know one of the things I would at least go to 2 before charging for a second person. And have you adjusted for seasonality? Because the shift from what month? July to August, and definitely from August to September, is often drastic in a number of marketplaces. I've not operated where you are, but however, humans tend to behave in very similar patterns, meaning the first months of September can be challenging simply because maybe there was more travel about than before. So, but do you have your seasonal rates in effect? Because it's probably time for you to change those as well.
Yes, I am. During the weeks, I am generally at about my lowest price is 75. So I'm generally about maybe high 70s to maybe low to mid 80s.
Then the next thing that I would encourage you to look at is your discount curve. How far in advance you're actually beginning to lower those prices.
At 14 days, it starts incrementally increasing up to I think 15 or 20%.
Yeah. Yes. So at 14 days, that's exactly. So you just told me that 25 days in advance was your booking window, or that optimal booking window, according to your information. It's definitely time to start that discounting process earlier, it sounds like.
Earlier, meaning past 14 days.
Meaning the 21, maybe 28 days out. So the further, so for example, because you don't have any sort of day restrictions, you can go 21, 28 days. If someone was operating in a 30-day market, they would begin their discount cycle probably at around 60 days out, maybe even sooner, 75 days out, because that's relative to where they are. So based upon what you've told me, those are some of the things that I would begin to experiment with and change. Now, as far as the placement inside of Airbnb, they are primarily price driven, low to high. What I would begin to work out is, like, for example, are you charging a management fee on there?
No.
Okay, so all right. So that's one of the things that I would begin to do, is that I would begin to rework your pricing so that it's for an occupancy of 2 standard, but then use the management fee so that you can push yourself higher in the search rankings. That's just one of the first things that I would.
So recently Airbnb changed their policies in order for you to have access to charging management fees and linen fees.
Yes.
You have to have at least 5 or 6 properties.
Well,
So
you know what my
anybody
answer to
who's
that one.
recently joined cannot have that.
You know what my answer is to that one, right?
No. Looking forward to hearing it.
Go get 5 more properties. That's my answer.
Yes.
Yes, you knew that was my answer. So, okay, all right, got it. So yeah, even if you don't have access to that, which is really unfortunate, I would still find a way to price for at least 2, because here's the challenge that you're facing is being on page 11 is the same as not being there. Period.
Right.
And then have you had your? I would also look at your title as well to see if a title and thumbnail. Well, you're a photographer. I know you have good photography skills, so I'm going to assume your feature image is fine. But I would also look at that. I would also look at your title as well. Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
We got a few more people on.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, if we're done, we're done. No worries.
You sure?
The answers.
What's that?
I was going to say, is there a difference why you prefer a discount over just stating lower prices?
Because, well, it depends on, all right, so if you're going to do the discount over just stating lower prices, because when you state lower prices, typically what that means is you're going to go in and discount or lower the prices for like the entire next 30, 60, 90, 100, 120 days. Well, if you've got a person who wants to come in for 2 months, but they're not ready to come in until, say, January, you don't know that you need to be that low at this particular moment in time. So I'd rather you run a discount because you can be more efficient. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, it's easier to manage, and it's more management, but you're probably going to you'll give up less money. I just want you to earn as much as possible.
Gotcha.
But you can do it the other way if you're okay with earning less.
I understand.
I know, I'm messing with you, man.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem, man. Cool. Thanks for calling in. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, now you see how this works. All you got to do is dial the number 417. I can't even read the number. 417-352-2274. Interestingly, it looks, I don't know if my mom is watching. I just found this out. So I don't know if she's going to call in or not, but that would be very, very strange. That would be interesting and fun all at the same time. Yeah, well, they're all asking questions. I'm trying to get it, well, and there's a whole best of them right here too. See, they're everywhere. So I've got to get all of the questions. We'll get to the next caller in just a second. So I've got a question from Frank McCormick. My closing was put off because of the because of the hurricane. Oh, that makes sense. Well, can I go ahead and become a host and list the property but not go live? Got it. So, Frank, very similar to what you just heard Boro mention, is that there's a window of time where your listing is considered new and actually does receive we'll call it a bonus, a feature in terms of priority placement inside the search engine for your area. When you are in an area that has experienced inclement weather, like a hurricane, like this happens while, yes, in California, we don't necessarily have inclement weather, but we do have fire season. So when things go on fire, like literally, the same type of stuff happens. And sometimes hurricanes in Texas or in the Texas area, like if Houston or Dallas get shut down, it hurts California because there's so many connecting flights. My point, though, is I would want to maximize as much time as humanly possible with the free or with the extra SEO bonus. So, yeah, that's really what's going through my head, is that I don't want you to lose that benefit because people might be shy from staying at your location because of the hurricane. However, here's the exact the opposite of that same statement. We do have a number of students who are in these affected areas, and what they do is that we've taught them how to optimize their location to shelter people who are fleeing from the hurricane. So it's kind of a double-edged sword trying to figure out, which way do you want to operate. Now, Frank, specifically for you, because this is your first one, I wouldn't recommend that because that's usually more advanced in terms of handling the customer who is under such distress, who's looking to flee and or escape a natural disaster. So I don't know that I would want to start you with that as an additional pressure. So, but either way, now you have an understanding of how you can look at it in order to make it work. And just to give you one quick tip, like if you are going to go down the road of providing housing during a natural disaster, one of the things that you should do is just consider I'm telling you, it's really simple. It can be done. Just get a generator, right? Get a generator. So that way, if the area loses electricity, your house doesn't. So there are many more tips like that, but hopefully I think you get it. We'll just keep going from there. All right. Let me see. There was over here. Is that what you're talking about? Well, Daryl, I definitely appreciate. Which camera is it? This one. Daryl, I definitely appreciate the comments and kind words. Thank you. We're gonna get back. I think we have someone on the phone, so let me go over here, which is there, right here. I saw that too. Someone wants me to look at their listing. Is that Umair? He's asking a question. Awesome. And here she is. It's mom. Oh. So I have no choice because my mom has dialed in. Here we go. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Jermaine. How you doing?
This is great. I'm good, Mom. I can't exactly not answer your call, so that would be weird.
Well, I just wanted you to know that I was watching and you're doing fantastic.
Thank you. We're actually teaching Jasleen so that she can sit over here and run a lot of the equipment that I'm currently using right now. So, because she likes doing the stuff, she's taking her notes and all this type of stuff. So this is cool. I didn't know you were watching.
I've see her. I
Yes.
see her sitting there smiling.
Yes, that's awesome, Mom. Okay, well, I'm gonna go answer some more. I'm gonna go answer some more questions from everyone else then.
Okay, and you see Lawanda's watching too. I don't know if you remember her or not.
From LaWanda. No, not right
From
now.
Tennessee.
From you got me, Mom. I don't remember.
Oh.
But hi, LaWanda. How you
Hello.
doing? Okay, cool. All right, Mom. I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, yes, that's right. That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. Okay, let's answer a couple more questions, and then I see one more person who is here. Oh, yes, yes. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe I'm going to. There's something that. All right, here's what I know. I know a number of you. You're concerned about something, especially if you've not started yet. You're concerned about like what happens if, I don't know, we get bed bugs, right? I know you're concerned about it. Well, it took us about 7,200 guests or so, and we finally had an incident. It's been resolved, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring on one of my staff, and we're going to share with you exactly what we did, what happened, how it went down. So definitely stay tuned for that today, all right? But let me get to a few more questions real fast so that we can make it happen. You see a question? Is that what's going on?
I think he called me.
Oh,
Mom.
Ladero. Yeah. No. Ladero's actually he's typing, but talking to my mom, saying hello. So it's pretty funny. Anyway, it's all good. We need more. Let me see.
Listing.
Yeah. So Ryan is asking, any updates around testing automation, getting agreement signed, or are we still stuck on HelloSign? I'd be open to help test more. Ryan, I will contact you. And what happened is that I had to put that on the back because we had a different issue with scaling our customer service team. Because our customer service team is like 5, 6, 7 people, and being able to make sure that we could have two-way communication via text, via email, via Facebook Messenger, via the website, and every other method of communication that humans want to use today. We are working on that first. We have the solution. We're building it out now so that we can have that two-way, because with when you want to do direct bookings, you want your customers, you want to actually be able to text message your customer $15 off or a free Wi-Fi upgrade or something of that nature, right? Well, I do. And when they respond via text, you want to be able to capture that regardless of what time of day it is and have someone handle it. So that ended up bubbling up to the top as a bigger issue for the time being. So that we're in the process of working through that. But it hasn't been forgotten, and I know you're technically savvy enough to help with the actual what we have in mind for signature. So I'll ask Megan to reach out to you, my assistant, and what she will do is she'll schedule a time so that I can show you what I have in mind, and then maybe you can run with it some more, maybe you and John or something. Anyway, but thanks for asking around that. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's do this. Let's have this really gross conversation about bed bugs. Right? We're gonna have this gross conversation about bed bugs. Here, let's see, here we go. Della, are you there?
I am. Can
Hey,
you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
I can.
That's awesome. Thank you for taking the time
I'm glad you introduced it as a gross subject.
What else isn't that how it felt? I mean, did you enjoy the process?
Awful. For 2 weeks.
Exactly.
No, for 2 weeks I scratched.
Right?
Yeah.
I felt like
Horrible.
scratching and itchy stuff. It's like every time we were talking about it, I didn't want to talk about it, but we had to deal with it. So it is what it is, though. It is what it is. So why don't you do this for everyone who's listening, because I'm gonna let them know the role that you play so that they can have an understanding, and then I just kind of want you to tell the story. So for those of you wondering, oftentimes you hear me say things like, build a system, and that system, and you've got roles and responsibilities and people and teams, so that your amount of time that you invest in physically working in the business, not on the business, but in the business, is as minimal as humanly possible. One of the individuals who helps me to do that for us and facilitates that and overseeing our customer experience department is the person I have on the phone. Her name is Della. So when something that isn't automated, or when something occurs that can't be automated or wasn't automated, and it's above the customer service levels, it eventually gets onto her desk. And then when it gets to her desk, if it gets to her desk, it's not good. And then if she is calling me, it's really, really, really not good. And in this particular case, it's the first time we had ever encountered, like I said, 7,000 plus guests later, the first time we had encountered bed bugs. And you guys know me. Whatever we learn, whatever goes good or bad, we let you know, so that one, you don't have to pay full price for the lessons that we have learned. And second, maybe you laugh, maybe you cry with us. Either way it goes, you're better. And that's the goal. So Della, if you can, walk us through a little bit of how this happened and how we even, how did we become aware of it? And for those of you watching, if you have questions, now would be the time. Put it in the chat. We'll do our best to catch those and ask them. That way you can ask us both and get any additional information or concerns that you might have around this topic answered as well. Go ahead, Della.
So I want to start off that I hope no one ever experiences this.
Yes.
But if you do, we now have, I have a step-by-step. So how this went down was a guest reported the bugs to us. And I don't know how they knew it was bed bugs, but it was a 2-bedroom unit. So we got a hold of a pest control person. Sadly, not the right one. But he came in and he sprayed, and the guest stayed in the other bedroom because there was only one guest at that time. What we learned from the experience is hire the best pest control company that you can.
Preach.
Before the pest control company. Sorry?
No, I'm agreeing with you. Go ahead, continue.
Okay. Go to the best person, even if it's delayed a day or two. Number one, we try to place the person in another unit or find another unit. And oddly enough, these people did not want to move. I mean, we didn't have anything available, and they did not want to move. The pest control came in and sprayed. For future reference, you should know that before a unit is sprayed, cleaners should strip the beds, vacuum, and clean the unit. While they are doing this, they should be wearing gloves and masks. And linens, we thought we had to throw out all our linens. It became a very expensive proposition for Jay. We thought we had to throw out all our linens.
Yeah.
And we also thought we should have the beds replaced.
Yeah.
All we had to do was strip the beds, vacuum, clean the unit, put the linens in bags for the cleaners, and mark very clearly contaminated. Advise the linen person that there are contaminated linens being delivered with the possibility of bed bugs. They will wash and dry them with extreme heat. You get the pest control people to come in, do an assessment in order to decide the next step. Once they let us know that it is bed bugs, we ask them to spray immediately and then confirm a course of action and how long it will take.
Yep.
The thing that took the longest time was that he recommended, apparently there is no fix for bed bugs. There are no guarantees whatsoever.
Right.
So what we did was we had a heat treatment done. But to get a heat treatment done, it takes it's a very popular treatment, and you have to wait your turn. And also, so we blocked off the calendar after the guests left. We blocked the calendar off for the day of, till the day of the heat treatment, plus 2 days after the heat treatment is done.
Yeah.
So in order to have a heat treatment done,
Oh, yeah.
this was a huge learning experience because you also have to hire a company who can come in and drain the fire sprinkler system and cap the fire sprinklers. So you have to arrange it with the building that they can put it on test so that this company can drain the system.
Yep.
And at first, the building did not want to do that because that would mean that the rest of the building would not be with water in their fire system.
Yep.
In the end, they agreed to it and actually insisted upon it because bed bugs travel very quickly.
Yep.
So we got that done. Also, we also dusted the electrical outlet
Right.
in the units on either side of our unit, plus the one above, plus if there is one below. Those should all be dusted with a special chemical so that the bed bugs don't, because they get in the walls, and this hopefully will kill them.
Yep.
That the building arranged with the other tenants because they didn't want them to know that it was bed bugs. So, but they also have to get written permission in order for our pest control company to go in and do this process.
Yep.
One important thing that I forgot is that you should inform your insurance company as soon as you learn that it is actually bed bugs. You should also be insured for bed bugs.
Exactly. I was actually going to stress that right there, is that I know that there's a number of people watching right now who you think like, ooh, I use such and I just use the host guarantee, or I won't actually take the time to get the right insurance. This and among many other reasons is one of the reasons why typically your existing home insurance won't work, why you must get a special policy, why I know it's additional money, but it's also peace of mind when something like this happens. You don't understand because I have the receipts now. I know exactly how much this can cost to remediate, and that's not including the amount you heard her. Getting in, we didn't need to get an extra bed. We didn't need to throw away all those linens. We didn't need to do those things, and that's called us just overreacting, trying to do everything we possibly could out of just ignorance and not knowing it. Okay, and yet at the same time trying to take care of the guest and make sure everything is going to be on the up and up. So what it comes down to is when you understand your enemy, then you know what weapons to use. And sometimes you can be, a little aggressive. And I've since talking to some of our students are exterminators, and they're like, wow, you kind of took a sledgehammer to that approach. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's done now, but nonetheless, we wanted to make sure that everyone understood what to do and how something can happen. So Della, I'm curious, all in all, with the amount of coordination of individuals, and yes, we had our experience with the wrong pest control person and all this other stuff, about how many man hours do you think this took from yourself and staff?
Felt like it took forever to get it resolved, but many hours. I have no clue. At least 40 or 50, possibly.
Yeah, and I wanted people to hear that. Go ahead.
And only because it was a lot of back and forth. I was the only one dealing with all the companies, trying to coordinate between the cleaners and the pest control, trying to get a heat treatment system. And you must also understand that you have to get the heat treatment people booked but the most important thing also before that is that you have to have the sprinkler system drained and capped, and that took forever to find somebody. And it was a lot of coordination. And if anybody's interested, Jay, we have a heat-sensitive checklist of things that people should remove from the treatment area. We also, after the heat treatment, you have to wait about 24 hours and have the people who drained and capped the system to come back in and fill the sprinklers again and either replace or uncap the sprinklers. Then you have to replace all the items that were removed from the unit because there is that heat-sensitive checklist. You have to ensure that the beds are made and there are enough linens.
Yep.
Also, you should have someone test the Wi-Fi to make sure that it's working after the treatment.
Yep.
And then you can open up the unit again for reservation.
And then being the key word. So for those of you in our student group, understand that the resources that she's talking to, we're going to be adding those since we now have them, we're going to be adding those because obviously we now know that you need them and we have a process for it. So yay, but and that again, it's just one of the many benefits of being what I like to call being a player coach, is that when something happens, as things change, because they affect me, we'll document that process and then we share it obviously with all of our students. Della, is there anything else that you want anyone to know before regarding this? Like, was it, knowing what you know now, let me ask it this way. Knowing what you know now, having been through it, is it really as bad as you thought it was? Like, if now that you know, is it like really that bad?
Yes, it's still disgusting.
Well, that's true. Agreed. But is it's not an unrecoverable situation.
But now I know exactly what to do, how to handle it. And also, Jay, what you didn't mention was that your insurance didn't cover all the cleanings that we did for the unit. It didn't cover, we were very fortunate that no one claimed anything because, Deborah, I see that you asked the question, if we had people in the unit, yes, we did, and we had nowhere else to put them, and they really did not want to move. They stayed there for the whole time.
Yep.
So, I would say that now I know exactly who to call. I would not panic the next time the way I panicked. Wow. I would keep everything much calmer and call in the right person, even if that person is delayed a day or two and revenue is lost for a couple of more days.
Well, I will agree with you on that one myself, because that one's on me for sure, because I was like, let's just get it done quickly. Absolutely all day. Well, Della, nonetheless, I definitely appreciate you taking the time to help everybody out. Know that it's not the end of it's not the end of life. And
not the end of the world.
Yeah, not at all. And it's something you can completely deal with. That can, but there is a process for it. So, and for those of you who are students, like I said, it'll be in your material. So don't stress. We got you. Thank you, Della, very much.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Will do. Oh my goodness. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you have seen, this is literally what we do. This is like my day in, day out. It's not something I talk about or I hope to one day or think about or think this would be a good idea. When people ask me what do I do, I simply tell them I document what I do. We go out there and we use and leverage various different real estate and real estate related strategies. Then we document those. And what often happens for a number of our students is they start practicing and then other people start asking them, how did they learn? So for those of you in the student group, here's something for you guys. We actually have an affiliate program. We pay you to help us grow. Help us go out there and hit that mission of finding more entrepreneurs, finding more people, more husbands, more fathers, mothers, brothers, and wives who want to become bigger, better, badder versions of themselves. And well, I have no problem paying you guys if you guys can help us make that happen, because that's really what this is about for me, is helping more of you guys become that way. Now, I also know that there's a number of you, you're like, well, I get that you can help I can help other people, but what about myself? Well, if you want to find out more about the system that I talk about, cashflowdiary.com/star, STAR. So I'm going to get back to more of these questions that are here in the Facebook group. And for those of you, if you want to, we have a few more moments today. If you want, let me check the line. I don't see. Okay, if you want to go ahead, the call line is open. Again, 417-352-2274. Again, 417-352-2274. All right, let me see. What was that? Cost. You know what? That's funny. We didn't even say that. Jamila Verona, she was asking how much did the whole incident with the bed bugs cost. It's in the neighborhood. So if we start to include lost revenue, right? So if we start to include lost revenue, we're gonna be right at around $15,000 is what ended up being spent to rectify this issue. Now, if that happened again, do I think it'll be as expensive? No, but it would still be close to $7,000-8,000, somewhere in that range. I can see that easily, simply because the expense of when she was talking about the sprinkler system and the capping and the sprinkler, the heat treatment. That's no joke. I mean, that in and of itself, from the exterminator side, is easily $2,000, if not $3,000. So now, maybe there's a difference in when you're in a different part of the country. So I'm out here in California, but that to give you a frame of reference, that's kind of what it looks like. And and to be clear, even if you have insurance, because I just want to make sure you understand, even if you have insurance, this is not something you can wait for the insurance company to pay for. It's typically something where you're going to get reimbursed by the insurance company. So you need to be in a position or be able to get the treatments you need done and then be reimbursed by the insurance company in order to make that work. And obviously in that process, keep all the documents, and Della did a great job there. And we both panicked because I was researching all up at night, researching bed bugs and looking at the CDC site and all this other stuff, because I didn't know what I didn't know. But I know now, and now we're more prepared, and that's really how this goes. All right, let's see. Jamila says, "Holy Batman!" Yeah, it was not an inexpensive affair. It wasn't like, oh, just go get some roach spray from Target. No, it was a little bit more. So, do you use software to manage your SOPs? Got it. So Ty Lee. We have, when you hear Della mentioning our processes and SOPs, all of our students and all of our mastermind students have access to what we call the dashboard. And it's a document that we put on Trello. And inside that document are it's two things. One, SOPs, and then we also teach you how to create your own SOPs. Because the one thing I can't do is think of every potential situation that you may encounter. For example, some of you operate in ski areas, and many of you know I don't enjoy the cold. So I'm never going to have a process around ski areas or things that would be related to something as simple as snow removal, right? So I know some of our students up in Canada, they're dealing with that constantly, right? When the snow is on the ground. I don't have a pre-written process for snow removal because it's not something that I've ever encountered. However, we can provide you a way to think through your processes so that you have them for yourself and for your team, and ultimately reducing your amount of time that's worked in the business. So Ty, if you have access to the mastermind, you actually already have it. It's just your dashboard. Della would have tagged you or at least emailed you access that way. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me scroll back. I'm scrolling back through looking for any other questions that I may have missed. Keisha, exactly my concern, because guests didn't move either and extended their stay, but we have you're responding to April. April's asking about the review. I actually don't know. This guest actually came from HomeAway, I believe. I actually don't know if they even bothered to leave a review, to be honest, April. I don't know what happened there. So let me see. And yes, I think that's Sujata Shyam. If I totally butchered your name, I apologize. We actually use mattress covers and encasements as well, but that doesn't stop the quitters from coming with some other way. So while yes, the mattress was ultimately fine, understand we overreacted in a lot of ways, and having a protector is not a prevention. And if they're there, you just got to do the work. So let me keep scrolling down and let me check. All right, we're good there. Let's see. So did insurance reimburse everything? No. So depending on the policy that you have, if you have the policy that we've recommended from the people that we have recommended, I have no idea what that was. I heard a noise and it scared me. You'll be reimbursed everything minus the cleaning charges or charges related to cleaning. One of the other things that I hope you heard when Della was talking was that the linens needed to be kept separate. That was the second error that staff and that we made, is that we actually didn't separate our linens. So between all of the units that the linen company was serving at that particular location, what ended up happening is that we ended up having to pay for even extra cleaning for linens that were not affected, just to make sure that we didn't infect someone else's linens. Yeah, that was not fun either. So, and that's definitely not a reimbursable by the insurance company. So again, having the inspection quickly, having it looked at, and so that you know what you absolutely have to replace. It is possible that you could have had to replace furniture. It is definitely possible for that to be the case. And one of the other things that we got lucky about is that this particular apartment unit only had someone above and someone to the left. It didn't have someone below or to the right. So we only had to worry about these two as opposed to all four sides, so to speak, or in front or back or any of those types of things. So that was a good thing, I guess, in this particular case. How much extra for the bed bug insurance? I've never heard of that. Wouldn't the people that stayed contract the bugs while they're running? Jamila, that's a great question. It is theoretically possible. I don't know if it happened. I'm still confused why they did not want to leave, to be honest. That is by far one of the most confusing things of the entire situation. But okay. And when it comes down to extra for the bed bug insurance, again, this is why I'm saying you don't rely on the platforms and the host guarantees and those types of things, because hopefully you have that. Now, it's usually an optional coverage, but on what is known as your declaration page of your insurance contract, you should be able to see if there is an additional charge and what that charge is. It shouldn't be much. I mean, it could be something like $30, $40, $50, seriously. But it doesn't happen frequently is also the thing. So I don't want everyone freaking out tonight, but because understand, 7,200 plus guests. And then we end up with a case of, now that doesn't mean your first guest, you won't be so lucky and get it on the first one. But what I am saying is that it's not like it's not something that should be happening frequently. So hopefully that makes some sense. And Megan is commenting, bed bug can even come from other units. Exactly. So again, understanding where they came from, that's a whole different story. What your issue is as the operator, is to eradicate them from your vicinity as quickly as humanly possible. That's your job, you know. So you just don't know what you don't know, right? Anyway, that was a total pattern up, totally have our attention. Well, I'm not sure what you're referring to, Ladero, but it wasn't done on purpose. Sorry, my question was further up. How do you recover from a lower review because of a pest? Oh, got it. So when you're trying to recover from so if you have any situation, there can be so many situations in which you have a listing that has had something occur, and then now you've got this you maybe have a string of horrible reviews because something really just, air conditioner went out, boom, 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 boom. You didn't want to cancel and you were trying to fix it and it was just a bad experience, whatever. One of the first things that you want to do, Keisha, in something like that is you want to accelerate the frequency with which you can generate a review, which is another way of saying shorten the length of stay, the maximum length of stay. So what I mean is right now, maybe your maximum length of stay is unlimited. Well, you take it from unlimited down to you can stay no more than 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 2 days, whatever. What it comes down to is what happens is that you get a whole bunch of 2, 3, 4, 5 day stays, and those reviews start to push the other one down. So it's not exactly like you get rid of it, but it is because a lot of people, like a lot of future customers, they don't keep going down, to page 2, 3, 4, and 5 of your reviews. So what you have to do is you have to accelerate how many reviews you get on that particular listing, and that'll help you to push that one down faster, as opposed to, because if you get another 30 day, that thing is just gonna sit there for quite some time. Yeah, it's just gonna sit there. Anyway, woo! Ladero says that he would have been out of there so fast. I agree, dude. Okay, I was taking out the trash today, guys. I went downstairs. I was going through the garage. You know how garage, you got your front door to the garage and you got that side door to where, was where we put the trash can. I was on my way out. I opened the door. There was a spider. I closed the door and I went all the way around a completely different direction. It was a spider. I can't do it. So I am with you, my friend, 100%. 100%. So anyway, let me see any more. Oh, who's that? There's a call here. Okay, we've got one more caller today. Let's go ahead. And Crystal, what is going on with you? How are you?
I'm good, Jay. How are you?
Long time no talk.
I know. I've been doing a little traveling, so I'm glad to be back.
World traveler. Yes, that's right. Where you was someplace sunny. That's all I remember.
Yeah, a lot of places sunny, a lot of sand.
Well, I saw some photos and I was like, oh, she's having fun. Cool. but okay, so let me ask this. When it comes down to it, you just took how many days?
Combined, I was pretty much gone for almost a month. Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
And how many units are you currently operating?
I just have the one right now.
Got it. And were you able to operate and get reservations, all this other stuff, long before, while you were gone?
Absolutely, and I didn't have to handle anything. I had my team handle that, so it was great.
Do you know how that sounds like music to my ears when people say that? So.
I know, right?
Excellent. How can I help?
Yeah, so, I'm always looking for new properties and talking with different landlords and owners and that type of thing. And one of the recent ones that I spoke with, he actually has his property up, already fully furnished, and it's up on Airbnb.
Okay.
And a few other channels as well.
Okay.
And I asked him, I said, well, he's only had it up for about 6 months. I think it was since February.
Okay.
And I asked him, I said, well, why are you, entertaining me, basically? And he's just basically not getting the results that he's, thought he was going to get. Mm-hmm. Everything's fully furnished, actually kind of high end, so to speak, I guess, more of the Nordstrom as far as how he's furnished it. I don't know who he's trying to target. He might not even know himself.
Understood.
But one of the things that I was interested in is we were talking about Smart BNB and the market
report
research. Is the market report. Is there a way, whether through Smart BNB or some other means, to do a report on another listing that I don't currently manage now, so that I can start to understand a little bit why he might be having difficulty? Like if it's just systemic of the location, or is it just something he's just an amateur and doesn't know what we know?
Totally understood. And it's definitely that second part as well.
Right.
Because I mean, you've been around enough. You've been around enough other people who are operating. How many have you run into that know what you now know? Like, I mean, just
very, very few. Like I've even self-stayed at some Airbnbs as a business expense and just to scope out other places, and and it's just like, oh no, this is not gonna work.
Right. And then that just happens, and so that everyone understands is that I've said this before and I'll say it again. Right now, you don't have to be good, you just have to be present. And a lot of individuals, and maybe it's you, maybe it's not, I don't know. Just because you've earned money or been paid for something, that doesn't necessarily mean you're good. And over time, as this marketplace matures, you're going to need to be good. And those who are going to be good will be able to build the brands that they want to and be able to get the types of customers that their business deserves. And that's what will happen over time. Now, when it comes down to it, Crystal, if you want to be able to run a report on a property you do not yet control, own, or manage, etc., this is where I use AirDNA. This is actually almost the perfect use case for what they do. Now, I was talking to Scott recently. We're still working on some things in terms of specials for our students and whatnot, but that doesn't mean wait for that. But what I am saying is, in this particular case, a platform like AirDNA can give you the information that you're looking for, specifically because you're looking for what I call trend data, because you're not necessarily looking for a specific number. You're just trying to understand, hey, in the last 60 days, is that the trend for this particular zip code, this particular area, etc.? And if so, then maybe he shouldn't be judging himself so harshly. Or, there wasn't much you could do. Or is it the exact opposite? Is this area currently booming right now and you just are horrible? Is your photos backwards? Or, because sometimes it's stuff like that.
Right.
But AirDNA would be the place that is where I would use that 100%.
Okay. So, but they give you the report for the area or zip code, but not on a specific listing. Like he gave me his.
Yeah, you can get down to the listing. You get down to the listing. If you have the URL of the listing, you can get down to the listing.
Yes, I do.
But what's important is comparing that listing to the area. That's why I was mentioning it.
Okay.
Got it? Because see, sometimes in an area, so for example, when you run a report, one of the things that they're going to give you some information about is how many listings in this area are, say, listed on Airbnb, how many are listed on, say, HomeAway. And you could find out that most of the listings in the area are actually on HomeAway and not on Airbnb. And it could just be something as simple as you're just on the wrong platform.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Yeah, because he did mention he was on 3 different platforms, and
Well, then that now we have a completely different issue. That like, how on earth is he managing all of that? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I thought about that. Like, I thought, okay, what channel marketer? I can't even say it. Manager is he using and all that stuff? So, if he's using anything at all.
Right. Exactly. So those are the things that we have to look at and try to figure out and try to understand. Because the answer is we don't know what we don't know yet, but the AirDNA would be a place where I'd go to try to gather some of that data.
Okay, awesome. And then I had a second question. So on VRBO, I know we talked about with the MPP, the no pricing, about utilizing the $79 like insurance rather than the deposit. And so I've been doing that for my listing.
Yep.
And I had a particular well, I had two questions regarding this. One, so that $79, is that coming directly to me?
Yes.
The way they made it seem, it looks like it's going to like some third-party insurance company.
Oh, you're talking about on HomeAway?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
You
yeah.
you don't. I would not. Again, in that particular case, what I am suggesting is that you self-insure, because if you select their option, it is going to a third party. That's exactly what's happening. And what I'm saying is instead of selecting either one of those options, in HomeAway, I think we call it actually an administrative fee is what we call it when at checkout. So it's a separate line item, so it's there. But inside the description on the listing, we tell them what it's for and all that other. So inside the terms of service that they have to agree to, so they see it there. Not again, no one reads it, but you understand what I'm saying.
Right. Okay. All right. I misunderstood it. I was like, I don't think that's coming to me. Okay.
Yeah. If you check that box, you're right. It's not coming to you. It's going to them. So don't check that box. Is really what I'm saying. Because I'd rather it come to you for all the right reasons that we've already talked about.
Which didn't make sense because then I got a notification from my guest that's coming in about a couple weeks saying that through the third-party insurance, his insurance policy or whatever was canceled, and he didn't know what to do. He's staying for like about almost 2 weeks, so a pretty sizable reservation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know. So I wanted to investigate that. But it sounds like, one, I shouldn't have even been using the third party, so, okay.
No, I would not do that at all. I would not do that at all.
So then I guess I could just send him like a $79 extra payment and take that payment myself and just self-insure starting with him.
That's what we've been doing, yes. Because it is, I mean, think about the frequency with which you actually have to make the claim. It kind of justifies itself, you know?
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Okay, cool. That's what I needed clarification on.
No problem. I think I got it. I'm glad. Thanks for taking the time to call in. Glad you made it back safe. Now, let's go get some more units.
Yes.
Cool. All right. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to go through the Facebook group one more time. What did you see?
There's an investment company calling.
No.
I saw it said something.
It's gone. It's gone. Okay, but there's nothing I can do about it. So now we're moving on. So let's see. Ladero said, all right, Ladero, that's funny. I'm not going to burn the house down over a spider. Although I'm not going to lie. It's not something I'm looking forward to. Really didn't want to be there at that particular moment in time. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you get the idea. You see how we work. This is what we do. We've had the privilege of helping a lot of people for a good number of years learn how to build their businesses and become better entrepreneurs in various different ways, shapes, and forms. And at the end of the day, that's what we do. I get the privilege of helping lots of people around the world. Hopefully next time, maybe you, maybe a friend. Just a quick reminder that for those of you who are existing students, feel free to go to cashflowdiary.com/affiliate. Help us find more people like you. You've benefited. Now go benefit a friend. And we're literally going to pay you for it. Feel free to go look at the details and make all that happen. For those of you watching for the first time, welcome. Hopefully you come back again. You get the idea of who we are and what we do. And it's been fun talking to you guys today. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Until next time.